If you're running electric fans and you're not using a relay, you're flirting with disaster. So today we're just going to jump in here and unscrew some of this wiring that's all jacked up like this fan harness or whatever you might want to call that. We're going to hook a proper relay up on it. We got some injector wires that need to be.
Then we got a ground right here. That's a bit odd.
I don't know what, I'm afraid of what we're going to find inside this ground, taped up ground with a bolt. Where the battery's been relocated to the bed, they got a distribution block up here, which is not terrible, but it needs to be mounted. So I'm going to mount that to the fender well here. And we're going to, like I said, address that sketchy looking ground. Got a few ejector wires in here to take care of. Check those out, reconnect those. We'll show y'all how to hook this 4-pin relay up on these electric fans. And just do some basic wiring maintenance to prevent this thing from burning to the ground. So y'all stay tuned.
Beautiful.
So we got rid of the burn me down starter kit here and made us a little bit better of a fan harness with the heat shrink connectors and wire loom. Lucas is in the process of finding a spot to mount that relay, and we're gonna get busy wiring that relay up. So when it comes to these 4-pin relays, there's several different ways you can wire them up. This one I'm gonna do triggered off of a 12-volt key source, which will be coming from inside. We're gonna put a toggle switch on it, but that toggle switch is only gonna have power when the key is in the on position. So in order to do that, you got to know which one of these wires does what. So the ground, of course, is going to be your black wire, and I'll put a diagram up of this. It's 4 pins. It's pretty simple. You're going to have a ground for the relay itself. You're going to have a wire that's going to power the accessory that you're trying to turn on. You're going to have a main power wire, which will be going straight to your battery source. And then you're going to have a trigger wire, which activates the relay. And as you can see, we got the relay mounted here to an existing hole that was in the firewall or in this inside this fender. Just put it there with a sheet metal screw. And I always like to ground my relays as close as I can to the relay itself. And luckily there's a ground right below it, so that'll work out perfect. I already went and installed a grommet in the firewall so we can run the trigger wire through there without having any issues of it chafing. And now we just got to finish wiring this bad boy up. So we just got done installing the fan relay, and we got a little bit of wiring right here we got to tidy up, put some more loom right here on it. But we got the hot wire in the ground coming off the fans. The fans are just grounded to the body. And then over here we got the relay mounted to the firewall. Like I said, your color code may be different, but on a 4-pin, it's basically you got a hot wire coming in, which in our case is this blue wire that powers the relay. That's what 12 volts sits on that relay from, in our case, this blue wire. And then the yellow wire is the device wire, which in this case will be the fans. The black, of course, is ground, and then the white is the trigger wire, which is run inside through the firewall. It comes off the relay as white, but since it's got 12 volts coming off of it, I want to always try to use red. We put a grommet in the firewall, and it's ran inside to the switch, and then the switch receives its power from the fuse box. I'll take you in there and give you a look at that. But while I was doing that, Lucas come in here and put some wire loom on all this stuff. We decluttered a lot of this mess, tidied it up real nice and neat, mounted that distribution block to the fender so it's solid now. Wire loom on all this stuff down here. Put a ground bulkhead right here on the fender itself, so the main ground wire coming off the battery is now grounded to the frame. Got one from the battery straight to the frame, from the frame to the engine block, and then a small one from the frame to the body itself. So it's got pretty good grounds on it. I'll take you inside and show you what's up with that switch for that relay. It's all keyed, so if you leave the fan switch on and just turn the truck off as normal, the fans are going to go off. So that way you don't have to remember to cut the switch off and run your battery dead. But the way it really should be done, it should be wired up to a thermostat switch. That way the fans come on and off as they need to, but we didn't have a thermostat switch at this time, so we just work with what we got. And it's a lot better than what it was. I only got one of these fans running because that's a 30 amp relay. That's all that thing is going to hold. You can't run two fans on that 30 amp. If you wanted to run both of these fans, you had to run two separate relays, which is not that big of a deal, but one fan will cool this thing plenty. The other fan was for air conditioning or whatever, but I'll take you inside and show you what the switch looks like. So back inside the truck now, and right here in this little spot right below the headlight switch on the dash, there was two holes already drilled here. Looks like somebody had switches in there before for something else, and luckily I was able to enlarge those two holes just into one rectangular hole to fit that switch in there, and it fits in there nice and neat. It's tucked out of the way, that way your knee shouldn't bang it on or off, but it's all switched on the key. So for that switch to receive power, the truck has to be in the run position, and then the fans work as they should. But if you turn the key off, it kills power to it. So that way, if you accidentally forget and leave the fans on, as long as you turn the key off, you're good to go. Give you a look under the dash here. You can see that power wire for that switch, I tapped in and used a fuse tap. We're running that on the heater blower motor. So that does not receive power unless the key is in the on position. And then that wire you can see there is the signal wire for the relay that goes to the firewall. I left me enough slack on this wire here for the switch to where if I need to pull this panel down and service it, I can take it down without yanking any wires loose. Another thing we did was we come in here and put grommets for the ground and power cables that come to the bed where the battery is relocated at. Those previously did not have any grommets or anything. They would just straight drill the hole to the metal and run the hot wire and ground right through there. And we come in here and put some nice wire loom on it, as well as put some new battery terminals on it. So the next thing we need to do for this is I need to build me a battery box to have this thing more securely mounted. Right now it's just sitting back here on the tray, the original battery tray. But I'm going to come in here and build a box, proper box for that thing. So, but this is a lot better than what it was beforehand. The guy just had run them through the bed and it was starting to cut into that hot wire. It's a wonder it didn't catch something on fire, but luckily we caught it before it got to that. And everything's a whole lot better back here now too. But that's going to wrap it up for this quick little video, y'all. I just wanted to come on here and show y'all what we was doing for that fan relay. I'm not the best at wiring. I don't claim to be, but I know enough to get me in trouble. So if anybody's got any questions out there, I'll throw a diagram up of how that relay is wired. If you've got any questions, feel free to drop a comment below. I'll do my best to answer them. Like I said, if you're new to wiring and you never had any experience with it before, I don't recommend experimenting on a Mopar because they are so finicky as it is with the wiring. But if you just take your time and do it one step at a time, think through it, don't get in a hurry, because wiring is one thing you cannot rush. It's so much going on. Anyways, that's going to do it for this one, y'all. Appreciate y'all for watching. As always, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you hadn't already, and we'll see y'all in the next one.